Hey guys, how you doing today? I hope you guys are doing good. In the background, you're gonna see me animating. I wanted to talk about my experiences with Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't really mess with it a whole lot when I first started playing with it. When I first heard about it, I thought it was extremely nerdy, which is ironic coming from me considering the fact that all I do is do nerd stuff all the time. So, kind of a hypocrite, not gonna fucking lie. That's on me. Only recently did I actually start trying to play it. It was around during the pandemic, actually, that I actually wanted to try playing it. I haven't played it that long. I've only been playing it for about maybe a year and a half now. It's a year and some months. I haven't been playing it that long, but from the experiences that I have had, it's a fun time, man. It's a very social activity to do. There's a lot of role play, a lot of good storytelling. I honestly get really inspired whenever I play D&D to make animations, or like it helps me build short films ideas while I'm doing these stories with a bunch of friends that I like to play with. It's a good time. You just learn how to build epic adventures and stories, and the amount of memories you can make with that is wild. Like, I remember one time on my first D&D session ever, I didn't think I was gonna actually play it that long, but my friend knew me very well enough to know that I was gonna like it. We tried it out. A few sessions passed over and over again. I didn't think I was even going to get past the first session, but I ended up liking it so much that I ended up doing it over and over again. Eventually to the point where we're fighting this one mini boss area, right? I was holding onto this barrel of gunpowder that I've had for the longest time, and I ended up using it on him because my friend used hold person on him. We both used fireball. Cast it right at the dude. Oh yeah, he got fucked. He was incinerated. Just those moments right there is just awesome. Or, as you can see in one of my shorts, I animated one of my friend's characters doing a fireball. That was actually his big moment because he doesn't really like to talk a whole lot, so it was hard to get him involved. So I was out of the picture for some time because we ended up accidentally splitting up. It was just him by himself, so this was a big moment for him where he used fireball and it just exploded a building because he was using it against an enemy that was like, he was getting 2v1 type deal. It was looking pretty grim for him, not gonna lie, but he managed to clutch it though. He fucking did it. I'm super happy for that because he doesn't talk a whole lot, so it's hard for me to improvise with that. And I'm pretty good at role play if I can get comfortable enough with the people that I know. It's just a fun time to just do certain stuff. And this new D&D group that I have right now, it's phenomenal. I love it. It's a great time. Everyone enjoys themselves. They're all enjoying each other's company. It was a little bit rough because, you know, a D&D group at first, you don't know everybody, so you gotta get in the flow of it. You gotta get used to it to where like people can get comfortable talking around you, so that way you can get well adapted. That's why it's good to probably talk to each other or like do a group session thing before D&D. Just get comfortable with each other's personalities and just being in their presence, just so it can make it easier and more like a more smoother transition into D&D. It's just fucking fun, dude. It's a fun ass time. You're fighting monsters with your friends, you're going on dungeons, you're making these epic stories, you're finding these certain plot hooks for your characters and shit. It's fucking awesome. And like shit, dude, in the recent campaign that I'm doing right now, we might be fighting a Jabberwock, like a fucking dragon, bro. I haven't fought a dragon yet. I'm so ready for that shit. It's gonna be fucking hype. I just can't wait for that type of stuff. I can tell, I didn't really notice it at first, but D&D's had a lot of influence, different like genres like shows or movies and stuff like that. I thought that was super interesting because I didn't really notice it at that time. I was like, damn, that's crazy. So Vox Machina is based off of Critical Role, which is also based off 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. I kind of knew about that because my friend told me about it. That's what actually triggered the whole entire catalyst for me actually playing D&D. So that was interesting. And if you've ever seen this anime called Goblin Slayer, that's also based off of D&D. I didn't know that when I was growing up because I was younger at the time it came out, and I was like, what? That's fucking insane. That's crazy. Like, what the hell? Now that I go back and watch it, I'm like, wow, That makes a lot more sense, actually. Adventure Time. I didn't even know fucking Adventure Time was based off of that shit, dude. It was wild. There's so many different things that I looked up in my spare time just to see, because I realized there's so many references towards it because it's so popular for all these nerds and stuff. And I'm a nerd too now because I was always a nerd. I was a big gamer and shit. I just happen to work out a lot and do a bunch of sports too. So I really can't say I'm that much of a jock person, but I definitely like to work out a lot. So I was definitely on that level, but I was a nerd because I played a lot of Destiny, Diablo, all that other different stuff, man. There was a lot of stuff that I used to play. It was a good time, bro. And I was off topic. There's so many different references, and it's D&D's affected a lot of people in a lot of different shows throughout the life. Like shit, I just saw an episode of Unordinary that I don't know if you guys read webtoons or something, but I saw in like the safe room, the class, one of the things that they have in there. Apparently the board games they had was Dungeons and Dragons. I was like, well, fuck me, dog. Everybody loves playing Dungeons and Dragons now. If you also look in regular show, they also have a whole entire episode dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm like, damn, dude, there's so many of these different places and just different shows that I didn't know about that's affected Dungeons and Dragons. And it makes sense though, because it's a fun time. It's good storytelling that you can do. If it's done right, it's good storytelling. And it's just a good social, like, it's just an overall just a fun experience, dude. Like it's nothing like I've ever felt playing video games and stuff. It's hard to describe into words. You'd have to play it for you to understand how you feel, because that's how my friend got me to play it, because he couldn't describe it. You just have to experience it. It's a whole experience, man. It's fucking awesome. I think everyone should try D&D at least once. Obviously it's not for everybody. I think everyone should try it at least once just to get a feel for it, just see if you like it or not. Everyone should try do different things, and that's how I ended up liking D&D. It's fucking cool. And I've always had a thing for fantasy, because I used to be a huge bookworm, loved reading back when I was younger, really loved it. I can't read like that anymore because I have roommates and they're fucking loud as shit, so unfortunately I don't get a chance to or an opportunity to read as much as I'd like to. I wish I could, but unfortunately I can't. It is what it is. I had a big thing for fantasy books, just like, and especially mature fantasy books too. I don't know why. I remember my stepdad would give me a bunch of different books and stuff to read, and I would just tear through them, bro. I was like zooming through that bitches. I would read some of his long ass books that are like 500, 600 pages long for like maybe like 2 days, maybe 3, if that. I would just be zooming through them because I was just so enthralled by it. It was just sent me off into a different world, a different imagination. Like playing video games, you're just trying to escape reality, just living in this world. You almost like feel it and breathe it with your imagination. And that's how I got so great at visualizing my imagination into animation and my drawings and stuff, is because I just had an overactive imagination while reading books. It was fucking awesome. If you guys have ever seen like The Last Apprentice, that was a good one, or Artemis Fowl, not the movie, that movie's trash. A book that I want to animate as like a fan-made animation series is Gregor the Overlander. I don't know if you know who Susan Collins is, but she's the lady that made the Hunger Games books. But before she made the Hunger Games books, she made Gregor the Overlander. I read that whole entire series in a week. Mind you, there's 5 books, and each one of those books is about 400 pages long. So I love that series. I couldn't get enough of it. It's fucking awesome. The same thing with D&D. It just sends you off to a whole nother world, and it's just fucking awesome. And it sucks what's happening with Wizards of the Coast now and all that shit. They're just penny pinching, trying to make more money. It sucks. People would get turned off from that shit, dude, and no one wants to play a game if you're just gonna keep trying to squeeze more money out of people. That's hella fucking wrong. You realize how much money I spent on dice? I went to the Raleigh convention for Comic-Con. I spent about $200 to $300 on just dice alone. It was wild. I love spending money on dice, especially the metal dice. The metal dice are always fun, but you gotta get like a cool little dice roller thing because you don't want to end up breaking it, because those things are heavy. Wherever you throw them bitches at, those things fuck you up if you end up throwing it at somebody. Those shits are hard. Yeah, those are my thoughts on D&D. You guys should go try it out. If you guys like what I had to say, like, comment, subscribe if you really like what I had to say. Mayhaps you check out my store, mayhaps you don't. You know, it is what it is. I'll let you guys go. Bye.